Coffee Chatter, Episode 2.
Coffee Chatter. While my stuff is downloading and stuff like that, because like it's sometimes it's just like the devil be trying to defeat you. Like I'm thinking, dang, like the sound's off, like y'all might not hear me or anything like that. But you know what? Whatever gives. I'm here. I'm doing a coffee chatter. We got coffee. I got some books I want to tell you guys about. I will have it written down. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much what I really want to talk about is just after my last coffee chatter, episode 1, you know, I recorded in the same spot. Literally, I was at a different spot. I didn't have no tripod. Today I got a tripod. I didn't have no mic. Today I got a mic. You know, I give God thanks. I give God thanks because I came a long way, you know what I'm saying? So, but I will say, it's no but. It's like, thank God, thank you. You know, everybody has a story. Everybody, you know, has gone through stuff. I do too, you know? After that coffee chatter, a lot of things happened. Like I broke away from a lot of friendships. A lot of things opened my eye. I was like, you know, I want better in my life. I want to step up to the plate. I want to save more money. And I got into a car accident. Boom. My car got into a wreck. So my form of transportation is gone. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even want to focus on the past. Let me tell you guys the present day. I'm able to get to work. I'm able to have transportation. I'm able to have shelter. So what it showed me is that even through my downfall, even through everything that I've been going through, I've been good. That's all I wanted to come say. I'm grateful. I wanted to show you guys like my schedule. I want to give you guys like real time, like at 1 o'clock. Like it's about to be 1 o'clock. I'm about to go through my daily schedule with you guys right now. You know, it still needs working to do, but it's like it's making sense in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously some days we might slack off. Some days, you know, I might want a little more sleep. You know, like I've been putting in hours, so I'm like, okay, you know what, let me get myself some rest, some sleep, because I know once I'm rejuvenated, I can show up for the day. I can, you know, be who I need to be. I can be up. So first is Grand Rising from 5 a.m. and it's 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Tuesdays because I have class at, you know, I have class at 2. So it's 1 o'clock right now. So I'm just like, you know, I'm in the hustle and bustle of everything. So I'm trying to like go through my daily schedule with you guys. You know, I got like a little rundown, some things that I want to talk to you guys about. So keep up, you know, keep up with me. So, Grand Rising is from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Tuesdays. You know, every day has something specific. And I've been working on like my daily routine for a minute, trying to find something that works for me. You know, if I want to use up my 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. to sleep in and wake up at 8, you know, I got to know that, you know, Grand Rising ends at 9 because 9 a.m. to 9:30 to 10 a.m. is checking. Checking is like basically, let me go through Grand Rising. I'm over here rushing with you guys. So Grand Rising is arise and conquer the world. Morning routine, workout, meditation, affirmations, motivational speakers, messages, prayer, and journal and breakfast. So all in between that time, that's what, you know, that's what I'm doing to start off my day, you know. And if I want to like slack off and go and sleep and skip off on breakfast or skip off on something, I got to make sure that everything's making sense because by 9:30, we're doing checking. Checking is Tuesday. I'm checking my calendar, my emails, my to-do list, my budget tracker, and my work schedule. That's 9:30 to 10. So it's like a good 30 minutes checking, you know, stuff like that. And sometimes I might just like go be eating breakfast and be doing my check-in anyway. So it's like, okay, you know, I already did my check-in. You know, I'm gonna check these things off as I'm going through because I did that this morning. I woke up. I didn't, like, last night I stood up until 2 a.m. editing, y'all, because I was like, on Tuesday I got school, I gotta do homework, I gotta focus on school stuff, you know, like my YouTube stuff, I have to have a time for everything, which I do. So let me get to it. So after checking, today's Tuesday, so I'm in a temple space day. Temple space is calm and grounded. Sit with team members to plan or clients to listen. When, where, space is about care and service. So every day, it was a book that I'm reading that I'm going to tell you guys about. That it's the Master Plan, Millionaire Master Plan. Let me see the name, the Millionaire Master Plan. So it has every space. So on Tuesday, it's temple space. Temple space, right? So that's the calm and grounded and stuff like that. So I really take these seriously. And then we can go back. On Monday, it was Blaze space. Blaze space is conversations, answer emails, take phone calls, and answer who. No procrastination, you know. And that time is like a different time frame, but we're talking about Tuesday today. We're talking present day today. Present day. So, and then Wednesday. So then Wednesday is Dynamo space. And you can choose what days work for you, like which days, make sense to make your days. I just chose these days because these are the ones, but these are all the spaces that you can choose throughout the week. So on Wednesday is my Dynamo space day. Dynamo space, brainstorm, write creatively, new ideas flow, and don't get distracted. Thursday is Still space day. Still space, quiet space to think details. How? Finances and spreadsheets are easily accessed. That's on Thursday. She been nosy all day. Friday, Spirit space day. So Spirit Space Day on Friday is what inspires you, allows you to reflect on your higher purpose and bigger mission. What am I grateful for? Who do I love? These are the 8 questions. Why am I happy? What am I most committed to? How committed am I? What is my intention? What is my wish? Why am I here? And I wanted to get like a journal separately for like my Spirit Space Day so I can have it, and just like reflect back just on my certain this is like this journal for that. So and today we're on Tuesday. So we went through all the spaces already. You guys staying with me. Stay with me, okay? It's a theory to the madness, to everybody, and how they get their things done. So these are just my, gems that I've been working on trying to get better with, and stuff. So we went through the spaces. Next, like I said, we're on Tuesday. So after my temple space day, which is 10 a.m. to 10:30, so 30 minutes, then I do my daily chores. That's especially if I know I only have 30 minutes, because some on my other days I might have a full hour and 30, but if I know I'm gonna have class, I don't want to overwhelm myself. So I do myself a 30 minute chore, make up my bed for sure. Let me make up my bed at least, or let me, sweep something. Let me do something in between that time. That's my 30 minutes of daily chores. Do something, And then I got my free time. Free time is 11 a.m. to 12:30. So, even though I got class, I still want, my free time. You know what I'm saying? So that's my free time. You know what free time is. Diddy daddle, check on social media, do whatever. Just vibing really with yourself. What you do on your free time. Most times on my free time, what I've been doing is reading. I'll be waiting for my free time and be like, I want free time to see what happened in this chapter. But then I'll be like, okay, I gotta stay, because my calendar will send me the thing. I'll be like, dang, what should I be doing at this time? This time right now is get ready for class. This is the get ready for class. So from 12:30 to 1:15 is get ready for class. So, pretty much that means calling my ride, getting ready, heading out the door. I'm out, I gotta get to class, and it's 1:07. So, we have a good little time to grab some coffee in between time. Normally I won't get no coffee before class, you know, because it's already like 1, but I was like, we're doing coffee chatter. In the spirit of coffee chatter, I'm definitely gonna get my iced coffee with lavender. It's so fire, like it's so fire. I appreciate Shelly for putting me on to that. But let me get some coffee real quick, because we just went through our daily routine, our daily calendar, and that's what's been working for me, to be honest. And so we're back. Pretty much. So the next thing that I really want to talk about is that I have decided to go back to school. And I was so like opposed to it. Like, I was just like, I'm spending all this money. I'm already owing money. I didn't even pass these classes. If like, you know, I'm working 10 times, then I'm like focused on school. I'm juggling too much. You see, I didn't have a daily routine. You feel me? Back when I was going to school, to put in that I need to study at this block in time. You know, I feel like this is something that I'm going to implement for the rest of my life, because it's like my kids will know at this time, 10 to 10:30, you already know what you should be doing. It's no discussion. It's on the schedule, it's on the plan. It works for you. Does it work? You know, figure it out, because at this time we're reading. At this time we're checking in. You know, like I'm preparing myself for bigger times, like, and also like I'm a boss. You feel me? Like when my secretary is trying to figure out, I started thinking like further on, like when my secretary trying to figure out, oh, what's my calendar? Where's my free time? Oh, she can reach me on my free time, or she can reach me at my grand rising time. Around that time, I'm a little somber, but do not reach me at when I'm getting ready for class. When I got, you know, when I'm busy. So it's like I'm creating structure that I didn't have. So it's like, yes, I've decided to go back because I feel like I have a handle on things. I feel like I can do it. I feel like I've gotten to the understanding of myself that in order for me to be this person that I want to be, I have to have structure. And even though like I didn't like grow up with structure or anything, I have to create it for myself. Like I have to figure out what works for me. The answer is within you. The answer is within me. Like this whole time, like I have the answer. I have the key, you know, like I have the key. I have the answers, you know. So it was really important for me to like, you know, take this step, make this decision, and I'm hyped up. I'm excited, you know, I'm doing good. I'm making it on time. I'm understanding the concept, even though it may seem like, okay, like it's definitely, this is like, whoo, this is another, you know, level, another little, you know, thing I gotta go through, but I want to come out there successfully. You feel me? I want to come out there swinging. I want to come out there like, yes, I did it. I got it. Always been smart. Always knew I was smart. Always knew I was a genius. Y'all didn't have to tell me, but you got it. Here you go. Oh, yes. Beauty and brains do exist, baby. Don't take the little ditzy, cutesy, Zamir girl for a fool now. Because either way, I'm going to get my money. Either way. Even if I gotta get it, or if God gotta give it to me, I'm gonna get my money. I'm gonna get what belongs to me. That's on period. Camera keeps overheating right now, and plus I almost like I'm kind of running out of time. But I really wanted to get to the point of the matter. You feel me? I want to really just, if anything, you know, if anything, you get out this message is that the key is within you. What doesn't feel right, remove it. Remove it. What comes right to my book that I read this summer. Alice Adventures in Wonderland. Cute, right? I always thought I related with Alice, but now I relate with the Queen. It was one chapter in the book that I was just like, yes, like, I'm sorry, but if y'all think she's the villain, she's the mean guy, then you don't understand boundaries. The Queen, she got to the castle. The queen's telling everybody, she's like, off with his head. And when I was little, I would be like, dang, like, you're going too hard. She's doing too much. She shouldn't just be cutting off anybody's head. That's not right. That's not okay. That's not something that you should do. Whole time she was protecting her kingdom. Anything that didn't feel right, off with the motherfucking head. It's no explanation. If the queen feels something funny, then the queen feels something funny. She's the queen for a motherfucking reason. She got a kingdom to feed. It ain't no, like, I thought I was Alice. Ditzy going through life, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going through adventures, following the rabbit hole, just over and over and going through all these adventures, and no. Take a hold. Take a hold, baby. I'm at the age that I really understand where the queen's coming from. I ain't ditzy. If you don't understand my heart and where I'm coming from, then you can go off with your head. Off with your head, like. And my mom always asks me this question. I will always cry to my mom, be like, Mom, why people, really don't like me? Like, why is it always an issue with Tiva? Why am I always like somebody that people gotta, shun or like ignore or treat like I'm just whatever? Like, I am not just whatever, fling her there. No, I'm not just that. And not because, oh yeah, I got the whole time I got it within me. You know what I'm saying? I'm figuring out my aesthetic. I'm figuring out what works for me. I'm figuring out what looks good on me. So my mom will always be like, but let me ask you this to make it hot. Let me tell you guys this. My mom asked me this. But what did Jesus do to get him killed? And I know some people might be like, whoa. Everybody got your own different perspectives. Trust me, I am not one to judge. I am not perfect. This is a religion I was raised off of, but I am so willing to understand other people's perspective. I'm so willing to see how you see God. I want to see a different perspective. I want to know, like, hey, like, this is how I see God, in my different way. What is, like, yeah, so just know you're in a safe space, okay? You're in a safe space before you clock out. But if you know the story of Jesus, what did he do to get healed? From what I heard and what I understand growing up is that he's a good guy. He healed the sick. He, walked on water. He did miracles. He did things that, he was forgiving. He was loving. He didn't judge nobody, He was just living a righteous, good life, just, in his merriment, no hate in his heart. So what got him killed? But at the same time, don't get it fooled now. Jesus could see. This is the story that I want to connect you guys to. When he confronted Judas, I don't know if you guys know this story, but I'm going to, recite it a little bit. When he confronted Judas and looked at him in the face and was like, nah, you're going to betray me. You're going to betray me. Judas like, me? Who? What? No. It's not true. I'm not going to do that. You're tripping. No, I seen it already, but, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And that's discernment. You can be the nicest person. You can be the greatest person ever. But I'm not here to prove to you that I'm the nicest person, I'm the greatest person. I'm not here to prove to you. If you feel like the first interaction with me, you thought I was a B, you thought I was mean, you prejudged me, then it's no type of time. We don't gotta be friends. because I'm gonna have the tendency of trying to prove to you, no, I'm a good person. No, off with your head. Like, the queen understands. Like, I'm not about to keep people close to me that I know for a fact is gonna betray me. So we made it here in life, where I'm walking alone, and just before I, wanted to do my second coffee chat. Okay, so first, let's talk about alignment. I have my topic list and everything, and I've been waiting to have let me just sit comfortable with y'all. I've been wanting to have chatter. A lot of shit happened, so I couldn't even get to the coffee shop that I wanted to get to. I couldn't, have that moment again in my life. It's just a lot of shit happened, and I just had that moment where it's just like, you're cut off, 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 you're cut off. You know what? You're cut off too, because you looked at me funny, because you coughed wrongly. Like, I'm sorry if you look at me like a villain, but honestly, you have to create these boundaries, because it's like, at the end of the day, if you foresee something, the feeling that off, my nervous system is telling me, no. If you come around me and you feel like you can't be yourself, or you have to put on your guard, or you feel like you have to act like an ass to me to get ahead in life, then kudos to you, but don't think I'm gonna stand there for you to do it. I'm gonna walk away, as a queen should, because I got a kingdom to protect. I got a kingdom to build. I don't got time. You guys see my daily schedule. I don't even got time right now. It's 1:21. I should have been getting ready for class at 1:15, actually leaving the house at 1:15 to get to class early to ask the professor for anything. So honestly, I don't have time for the okie doke. I don't have time for the time wasters. I don't got time for the secret enemies. I don't got time for the happiness haters. I don't got time for it. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm stepping into a whole new era. Honestly, I wasn't the best version of me when I was with you guys, and whoever you guys. That's the past. It doesn't matter, because I'm here now. We're talking about present day, baby. I'm on my schedule shit. I gotta go to class. I gotta study. I gotta make my money. I'm on my hustle and grind shit. Feel me? So let's tap in. I've decided to go back to school. I got 10 recommendations for books. I finished Alice Adventures in Wonderland. Awesome book. Read it. You guys know the story, but read a book. You know what I'm saying? I started with a little easy book, try to, get my mind right. Then I have another book named Cain. That's a really good book. Go Tellin' on the Mountaintop by James Baldwin. How to Walk in High Heels. The Millionaire Master Plan. Being the Boss. Maya Angelou, The Complete Poetry. And books that I do want to read is The Maze Runner, and books that I want to read again this fall is Animal Farm. I loved Animal Farm in English, and I'm a literature major, so just to let you guys know, that is my major, and that's what I'm studying, literature. So I'm definitely a bookworm. I love reading, I love understanding, I love knowledge. And a book that I'm finishing that I was telling you guys about is Your Blues Ain't Like Mine. So this tells you about literally everything that we need in this generation right now. We have the ability to read. We have freedom to read right now. Why don't we read? We have the ability to vote. Why don't we vote? You know what I'm saying? The meek shall inherit the earth right now, and we're standing for ourselves. We're standing on business in the most graceful, beautiful way, and blossoming into wonderful flowers. So yes, if you think I'm mean, if you think I'm a villain or whatever, then walk away from me. But I'm a good person, and welcome to Tiva's Island, and welcome to Coffee Chatter, episode 2. 1 year after, okay? So I gotta go. Honestly, I hope I touched points. I hope y'all felt me. Obviously, y'all can tell. Ooh, and I got something to share with you guys. Some of my paintworks. So, before I get it hanged up, you gotta watch my vlog. But I have this. It's actually a set of 3, and I will show you guys the set. but we got one. I'm taking it to school so they can hang it up for me. They're like, I was like, yeah, I have beautiful artwork that can fit in here. And he was like, yeah, bring it. So I got this. I'm just trying to understand my paint style. I like zwiggles, I like wiggles. I like stuff that makes sense and connect. So can kind of see my vibe. And last but not least, I'm like, you guys can kind of see everything, and I feel like it's gonna go with the colors and everything. So watch my vlog, check me out, you know, support me, love me, because I support and love you guys too. You know what I'm saying? We're all on a journey of life. It's crazy. We may not understand everything, but let's just understand that our body is the key. We know something's not feeling right, leave, grow. You can't grow in the same space. You can't keep doing the same thing. It's insanity. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm moving in the right direction. You know, I was always moving in the right direction, but I just needed that like snap, like, oh, I'm out of that. I'm out of that cycle. I'm like, I'm out. I want more. I want something different, you know, and something different and more is coming towards me. So I'm just like, this is a perfect time for a coffee chatter. Chatter. Let's chatter, because I'm really a chatter. I love chatting. And 1 year ago, y'all go check my first one out. I was so nervous. I was so scared. Yo, I gotta go. I got to go to class. I go. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Chapter 8. The Queen's Croquet Ground. A large rose tree stood near the entrance of the garden. The roses growing on it were white, but there were 3 gardeners busily painting the roses red. Why, they look just like playing cards, thought Alice. This was very strange, and she went closer to watch them. Look out now, 5! Don't splash paint on me like that! I couldn't help it, said 5. 7 bumped my elbow. 7 looked up and said, that's right. 5, always blame it on others. You better not talk, said 5. I heard the Queen say yesterday you deserve to be beheaded. What for, said the one who had spoken first. That's none of your business, 2. Yes, it is his business, said 5, and I'll tell him it's for bringing the cooked tulip roots instead of the onions. 7 flung down his brush and had just begun. Well, of all the unfair things, well, his eyes suddenly fell upon Alice as she stood there watching them. He stopped himself quickly, and the others saw her too. And all of them bowed. Would you tell me, please, said Alice, why are you painting those roses? You began in a low voice. Well, you see, miss, this should have been a red rose tree. And we put a white one in by mistake. If the Queen found out, we would have our heads cut off. So we're doing our best to... At that moment, 5, who had been looking up around the garden, called out, The Queen! The Queen! The 3 gardeners instantly threw themselves flat upon their faces. There were sounds of many footsteps, and Alice looked around to see the Queen. First came 10 soldiers carrying clubs who also looked like cards with their hands and feet at the corners. Next came 10 corridors decorated all over with diamonds. They walked 2 by 2, as the soldiers did. After came the royal children, with hearts upon their garments. There were 10 of them, and they were jumping along hand in hand. Next came the guests, mostly kings and queens, and among them, Alice recognized the White Rabbit. It was smiling at everything that was said and went by without noticing her. Then followed the Cob of Hearts, carrying the king's crown on a red velvet cushion. And last of all, at the end of the grand procession, came the king and the Queen of Hearts. Alice wasn't sure if she should lay down on her face like the gardeners. She could not remember a rule about laying down for a procession. And besides, she thought, what is the use of a procession if people have to lay down upon their faces? Then they were not able to see it. So she stood still where she was and waited. When the procession came to Alice, they all stopped and looked at her. The Queen said, Who is this? To the Cob of Hearts, who only bowed and smiled and replied, Fool! said the queen, tossing her head and turning to Alice. "What is your name, child?" "My name is Alice, your majesty," said Alice, very politely as she thought. "Why, they only a pack of cards. I don't need to be afraid of them." "And who are these?" said the queen, pointing to the 3 gardeners who were laying face down in front of the rose tree. "How should I know?" said Alice, surprised at her own courage. "It's no business of mine." The queen turned red with fury and screamed, "Off with her head! Off!" "Nonsense," said Alice very loudly, and the queen was silenced. The king laid his hand upon the queen's arm and quietly said, "My dear, she is only a child." The queen turned angrily away from him and said to the cob, "Turn them over." The cob carefully turned them over with 1 foot. "Get up," said the queen in a loud voice, and the 3 gardeners instantly jumped up and they began bowing to the king, the queen, the royal children, and everybody else. "Stop that!" screamed the queen. "You're making me dizzy." She turned to the rose tree and said, "What have you been doing here?" "Your Majesty," said two, going down on one knee as he spoke. "We were trying—" "I see," said the queen, who was looking at the roses. "Off with their heads!" The royal group left. 3 of the soldiers stayed behind to execute the gardeners, who ran to Alice for protection. "You won't be executed," said Alice, and she put them into a large flower pot that stood near. The 3 soldiers wandered about looking for them and then quietly marched off after the others. "Are their heads off?" shouted the queen. "Their heads are gone, your Majesty," the soldiers shouted in reply. "Can you play croquet?" The soldiers were silent and looked at Alice as the question was meant for her. "Yes!" shouted Alice. "Come on, then!" yelled the queen, and Alice joined the procession. "It's a nice day," said a voice at her side. It was the White Rabbit peeping into her face. "Very," said Alice. "Where's the Duchess?" "Shh," said the rabbit. He looked over his shoulder and then raised himself on a tiptoe so he could whisper in her ear, "She's been arrested and will be executed." "What for?" said Alice. "Did you say what a pity?" the rabbit asked. "No, I didn't," said Alice. "I said, what for?" "She boxed the queen's ears," the rabbit began. Alice laughed. "Shh," the rabbit whispered. "The queen will hear you. You see, the Duchess was late," and the queen said, "Get in your places!" shouted the queen. People ran around in all directions. They finally settled down, and the game began. Alice had never seen such a strange croquet ground. There were lots of hills and holes. The balls were live hedgehogs, and the mallets were live flamingos. The soldiers stood on their hands and feet to make the arches. Alice tried to hold her flamingo still, but it just kept twisting around, so it looked at Alice. She couldn't help but to keep laughing. When she finally got the flamingo to hold still, she looked down and found the hedgehog had run away. It was a hard and confusing game. The players played it at the same time. No one took turns. They argued about everything, and the queen went stomping around screaming, "Off with his head," or "Off with her head," every minute. Alice began to feel very uneasy. She had not yet had an argument with the queen, but she knew it might happen any minute. She started looking around for a way to leave when she noticed a curious appearance in the air, a grin. "It's a Shishy cat," she said to herself. "Now I have somebody to talk to." "How are you doing?" said the cat as soon as there was enough mouth for it to speak with. Alice waited till the eyes appeared and then nodded. There's no use to speaking to it till its ears have come, she thought. In any minute the whole head appeared, and then Alice put down her flamingo. She began to tell the cat about the game. The cat seemed to think his head was enough, and no more of it appeared. "I don't think they play fairly," Alice said, and they all argue, and they don't have any rules. You have no idea how confusing it is using flamingos and hedgehogs and archers that walk away." "How do you like the queen?" asked the cat. "Not at all," said Alice. Just then, she noticed that the queen was close behind her listening. She went on, likely to win, that it's not worth finishing the game. The queen smiled and walked by. "Whom are you talking to?" said the king, walking up to Alice and looking at the cat's head with curiosity. "It's a friend of mine, Shurshy Cat," said Alice. "I don't like the looks of it," said the king, "but it may kiss my hand if it likes." "I'll rather not," the cat remarked. "Don't be disrespectful," said the king, "and don't look at me like that." He got behind Alice as he spoke. "A cat can look at a king," said Alice. "I read that in a book somewhere." "Well, it must be removed," said the king, and he called the queen. "My dear, I wish this cat be removed." The queen had one way of settling problems, great or small. "Off with his head," she said, without even looking up. "I'll get the executioner myself," said the king, and he hurried off, quickly returned with the executioner, and a crowd began to gather around. A disagreement began between the king, the executioner, and the queen. They were all talking all at once, while the entire crowd was silent and uncomfortable. Alice asked if she could help settle the question. They all started speaking to her at once, so she found it very hard to know exactly what they said. The executioner's argument was that you couldn't cut off a head unless there was a body to cut it off from. The king's argument was that anything that had a head could be beheaded. The queen's argument was that if something weren't done soon, then she'll have everybody executed. Alice could not think of anything else to say, but "The cat belongs to the Duchess. You better ask her about it." "She's in prison," the queen said to the executioner. "Bring her here." And the executioner went off like an arrow. The cat's head began fading away, and the moment the executioner was gone, by the time the executioner had come back with the Duchess, the cat had disappeared completely. So the king and the executioner ran wildly up and down looking for the Shurshy's cat head, while the rest of the party went back to the game.